What's going on, everybody? King Friday here. Quantum just pushed an update that finally makes tape-backed object storage with ActiveScale feel way more usable day to day. It is not just something you paid for years ago, and now it just sits there like an insurance policy. But before we get into the new features, let me get everyone on the same page about what Quantum ActiveScale cold storage actually is. So ActiveScale is Quantum's object storage platform. So think of it as a giant, always-on vault behind your media workflows. It stores your data in two main flavors. The active tier is built on disk and SSD and is perfect for hot or warm data that you might need to access in your day-to-day. And the cold tier is backed up many times on LTO tape and a quantum scalar tape solution. Now, you can use conventional drives for this, but with LTO tape, it's designed for long-term archive at a fraction of the cost and power consumption, but still stays online so you can pull from it without having to load boxes or chase drives around the building. Quantum's ActiveScale cold storage uses something called 2D erasure coding. It protects data in two dimensions, within tape and across tape. So imagine that you're reading volume 3 of a 10-volume encyclopedia because you're fancy. With standard erasure coding, if you smudge a few pages, you have to pull all 9 other volumes off the shelf just to recalculate what those smudged words were. It's a massive amount of work for a tiny error. So that's where Quantum's 2D EC changes the game. So every page has its own self-correction footnote, or on the LTO tape with data, local reconstruction code. If a page is smudged, you fix it instantly using just that one book. This local self-healing is how you get 19/9s of durability. Your archive barely notices when something goes wrong. But what if the whole library burns down? You're still okay. Using dynamic data placement, DDP, and Rail, Quantum spreads your data across 3 geographic sites. So if one site vanishes, the other 2 don't have a copy of the data. They have a mathematical blueprint to reconstruct the missing data from scratch. So instead of paying for 300% overhead to keep 3 full copies of data, you get bulletproof protection with as little as 15 to 25% overhead. So you're storing math instead of copies, and the math is a whole lot cheaper to store. All right, now here's what's new. Quantum added something called ranged restore. Now let's say that you have a giant multi-100 gig object archive. Now normally you would need to pull back the entire thing just to be able to get the small part that you actually need. So Quantum did what they always do. They innovate. With Range Restore, you can restore only the specific byte ranges that you want. So just that one file folder, video clip, whatever you need, that's the only thing you need to restore. They also redesigned the restore engine for small objects. These restores are now more than 5 times faster than coming to tape. Now, there's still physical tape activity behind the scenes, so you're not getting F-series flash speeds, but the jump in responsiveness is massive. So now, moving multi-gigabyte objects to ActiveScale isn't just a smart move, it's the only move. Trust me. All right, so here's the shift this brings. Tape stops being that slower deep vault archive and starts acting like a near active tier that you can query, feed into AI, run analytics on, or use for media pulls without dragging down your day-to-day. And Quantum is pointing out that they are the only ones doing a custom S3 Glacier-style range restore extension for a tape-back system. So what does this mean for real workflows? So if you're archiving large media assets, AI data sets, VFX plates, compliance records, I don't know, or anything else that gets cold but still needs selective access later, you could skip the full restore pane. It cuts down on wait time, compute, overhead, bandwidth, and most importantly, cost. Now, you still do need to respect tape's nature. There are robotics, there is spooling. It won't magically match disk speed, but now it feels like a part of a real pipeline instead of a place where data goes into long-term hibernation. And for anyone that's already working with multi-tier storage, especially if you're living in a Quantum StoreNext plus ActiveScale plus Quantum Scalar world, this upgrade levels up your archive tier. You get more control, more responsiveness, and a better way to weave cold data into active production, AI, and analytics without babysitting massive restores. So if you have any questions on how to upgrade your ActiveScale or Scalar deployments, or if you're not in the Quantum ecosystem and you want to be, definitely don't hesitate to contact your Quantum representative. They would be happy to assist. I'm King Friday, stay glossy, and I'll catch you on the next one.